So my view is they should have made her a new character, and now Batman has a new villain who potentially has cool stuff going on. But making that character Penguin is just a way to stir up drama on the internet, in my opinion.
Yeah. On the other side of the argument, in maybe defense of the creators, is it possible that it's difficult to introduce a new villain, especially in comic book movies where there's Batman's probably got the most famous rogue gallery of of villains. You got the Penguin, Scarecrow, Joker, etc. Is it difficult to try and insert something new into that, especially when audiences are going in there expecting to see the same type of villain, so that maybe when they have something different that they want to tell, they have to attach it to an existing villain just to try and get that familiarity in there?
So both Harley Quinn and Renee Montoya are inventions of the animated series.
Okay.
Now they are 30 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, those were new inventions. And these were just new characters who showed up in a couple of episodes and people liked them. And so they showed up in more. And now they're established names. So you shouldn't have made a $200 million movie with that gamble. But you can, in this show, like if there's 10 episodes, you can devote 2 of them to new characters.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or have them be like second string characters that serve an established character or something. And if people don't respond to them, then you drop them. And if they do respond to them, then you build them up, right? In my view, that is very, very simple. People always say that's impossible and like it's just going to fail. And my answer is, number one, it is possible. Number two, you can't just try once, you have to try a bunch of times and some of them will work. Almost every established comic book or superhero character that exists today is one of the 2% that worked. Mm-hmm. Something like that. There are many, many characters throughout Batman's been around since the 40s. So let's call it 80 years history that just were used once and never again because it didn't work or because audiences rejected them. So Penguin only shows up in one episode anyway. So you could have just made this a new character and have her be the villain of the first episode. And then she goes to prison. And then we have the rest of the plot. And then you see what the audience says about this character. If they say, hey, this was a cool character, we want more of her, then you make more. And maybe 10 years from now, that character is a staple in the Rogues Gallery. Like one example where this worked in the last 10 years is the Court of Owls, which is this secret society of assassins that has something to do with like the old aristocracy of Gotham. I haven't read all of those comics, so I don't know all the details of it. But you absolutely can add things to a mythos like this, and a show like this where you have many episodes and many characters. Devoting 1 or 2 episodes to a new character is absolutely possible. The same thing with Harley Quinn. First of all, the fact that she is Asian is purely superficial. It doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form for her character, for the plot, for her motivation, anything. Which doesn't make it a bad thing. It's just pointless, right? Mm-hmm. But the more important thing, in my opinion, about the Harley Quinn character is that they removed every aspect of her except for the therapist angle. And now she's using her therapist skills or her psychiatry skills to make villains and to make henchmen. It's a cool idea. It has nothing to do with Harley Quinn. So you have 2 options here, in my opinion. Number one is you just make her Hugo Strange, because Hugo Strange is also an evil psychiatrist, and he's also very underused. He's been used a little bit in the last 20 years, but not much. So this could have been a Hugo Strange plot that would not have raised any eyebrows, or you could have made a new character, right? But if it's Harley Quinn, people pay attention and talk about it, and they complain about, I'm trying to find a way to not say wokeness, but that would be the complaint, right?
Yeah.
I think it's pure trolling, and I don't care about that. Like I think sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and in these cases it's just purely pointless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's
we just watched Batman 1989 and that had a Black Harvey Dent in it,
and I don't think
nobody cared.
Like no one cared, no.
So whether or not it works or not depends entirely on the case. Yeah. But it does rub me a little bit the wrong way that it's so superficial.
Yeah. That
it has no relevance to anything, doesn't impact anything, that it doesn't inform the character or plot or anything.
On the again, I'm like trying to play devil's advocate here, just to the opposite side. Even though I do agree with you, I do feel like some of these changes are just kind of like there to just like stir up drama and sort of cause discussions online, especially with how sensitive everything is online with these things. But Could you say that Harley Quinn, even being white in the first place, really informed her character, and that like her race really played any type of like significance in it? Just like with like Jim Gordon being sort of black, I don't feel like the race is as vital to it as
it should in the 30s.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like someone like Magneto, who obviously is was like in the wartime and this that and the other, and was like he was Jewish, wasn't he? He was like a Jewish kind of like
he was a Holocaust survivor, yeah.
He was a Holocaust survivor, yeah, and that's like essentially like informs his character. It's just like the question of as to like how much like does the race inform some of these like other characters that people do complain about or people do get up in arms about.
Yeah. Like so for some characters it matters, for some it doesn't. For Harley Quinn it probably doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's more like the idea that they did it just to upset people is what rubs me the wrong way.